everybody to tell me they're lying right now because what the do you mean that I'm not gonna get my SNAP benefits? What the do you mean?
We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward.
Beyond betrayed. They used us during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party. They actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
It's about 40% higher than it was, 2 or 3 months ago, before the conflict. Let's just say that.
How are all of you doing who decided to vote for Donald Trump in this past election? I vividly remember the day after Donald Trump got elected. There were so many people on this app dancing around.
I've said it before, but it's worth saying louder this time. Trump's most loyal supporters, America's farmers, are getting stabbed in the back in broad daylight.
Breaking news. MAGA soybean farmers across the southern United States are crying and complaining about the Chinese not buying our soybeans.
Hey good people, welcome to this amazing channel. In today's video, this is so interesting. Can you imagine the MAGA farmers are crying once more? Like the problems are never over. Now, guys, I want to bring you to my attention what's happening around with MAGA farmers. And these are the mixed reactions that are actually happening at the moment. Now, I want you to note some things that MAGA farmers, those who voted for Trump again, they are really complaining about this situation right now. And right now, MAGA farmers are many whom supported, of course, Trump, okay? And are going through a mixed situation where some are struggling badly. On the other, and others are getting the government support, a few of them. And some of the things that they are complaining are financial pressure, okay? And farmers, especially in the Midwest, are facing low crop prices like soybean. For example, soybeans. The crops are little, like in terms of pricing, they are very low. And high cost of fuel, fertilizer and equipment, and even loss of export market due to tariffs, okay, that the government has placed. And then there's some tension in trade, especially with China, and it's hurting the demand so badly, and making the crops to actually causing a drop in terms of income, okay? And even there's a policy which has changed, and the policy change are hurting small farmers, especially solar projects. Farmers have tried to cut cost using solar energy, but can you guess what? The government grants were paused or sometimes even reduced, and it has caused a lot of, and tax rules changed suddenly. And the results of this, of course, project cancellation, farmers are losing money or delaying plan. Guys, this is so interesting. I want you guys to watch this video as farmers have to say concerning this. Listen to this, guys.
My name is Russell Baining.
Hey, Russell.
My family and I farm right south of San Antonio.
Oh, cool. Good for you, sir.
We're buying nitrogen right now, and it's about 40% higher than it was, 2 or 3 months ago, before the conflict. Let's just say that.
Gee, I wonder what happened that would have caused these spikes in prices for you. But, wait a minute. What's this in your background? Because it looks like you're standing with a certain someone that's causing all the problems right now. But do go on.
Let's be honest about it. Tariffs have caused the price of our inputs to increase.
Are you feeling terrified from tariffs?
If you want to look at it from the 30,000-foot view, agriculture pretty much still trusts this administration. That's still what I hear.
It sounds like Russell has entered the find out phase of FAFO. So here's a bit of a fun fact. During the 2024 election, 444 farming dependent counties voted at nearly 78% for DT, meaning that a lot of them voted for the policies of this current administration but are suddenly complaining that they're getting exactly what they voted for. You know, if I voted in favor of such things as like universal health care or like an improved mass transit network, I genuinely would be happy. These farmers over here are complaining about such things as tariffs, the rising cost of diesel, and those immigration raids in which they relied on immigrant labor for. But in conclusion, all I do have to say to Russell is, have the day that you voted for.
Goddamn, farmers are really getting it hard from Trump, aren't they? Check this out. Look at these farmers in Iowa.
This is not just a temporary blip. This is not something that farmers can work around. No one anticipated that we would have a shock to the system. All the experts did not see this coming when we see this rise in fertilizer prices because of this war. And really, no one's really seeing a way out.
That shock to the system means that diesel now is more than $5 a gallon, and fertilizer costs are up more than 30%, adding thousands of dollars of new costs to already strained farmers we met, like Aaron Lehman.
When something like this happens, farmers just have to take the hit somehow and find a way to get a crop in the ground this year.
President Trump's trade policies...
I also want to remind everybody that we had to do a bailout for farmers from our taxpayer dollars of $12 billion. And if you think other countries are going to be buying from our farmers for the next 3 years, if ever, you're sadly mistaken. Get ready to dig into your pocket to give the farmers more money thanks to the ruined trade by President number 47. If you found this crazy yet informative, please like, comment, follow, and share.
How are all of you doing who decided to vote for Donald Trump in this past election? I vividly remember the day after Donald Trump got elected. There were so many people on this app dancing around saying that they're no longer going to get drafted, that they are going to be able to afford the house, that they are going to be able to afford more things and have an easier life now that he has gotten elected. We are essentially a year and a half into his presidency. We are at war. We are seeing gas prices skyrocket. Things are not getting cheaper. Our grocery bills are especially not getting cheaper. So I'm just curious, to those that genuinely thought that their lives were going to be better when Donald Trump got elected, how do you feel right now? Have things gotten better for you? Have things gotten worse? Have you noticed a difference in your life, especially when it comes to spending?
Today's a day that I'm feeling a lot of remorse for having supported Trump and MAGA. Hey everybody, Rich here at Leaving MAGA at leavingmaga.org. Let me preface by saying that I am not making this video to elicit any sympathy or any pity from anyone, but it's just, it's one of these days that it's a stark reminder to me about the remorse, regret, and some of the guilt that I feel over having supported Trump and MAGA, not just as a mere voter, but someone who was an activist, who was a pundit, who worked on the Trump campaign, who donated to the Trump campaign, someone who was an unapologetic and public Trump and MAGA supporter as I was. And as the president threatens war crimes and probably nuclear war, it's just a reminder for me that I made a mistake. And I would ask all of you out there who right now have MAGA friends and relatives, I think a lot of them are starting to feel some regret. I think a lot of them are starting to privately and quietly have their own doubts, their own confusion, maybe questioning their beliefs. Maybe they're feeling a little bit guilt themselves about having supported Trump. It's just, today's the kind of day that, you know, it makes me think that I once supported the Republican Party, and perhaps it's cynical of me to say this, but the Republican Party will not do anything to Trump. Trump knows that. When I was in MAGA, it was a fantasy of ours to kill off the GOP and remake it and transform it into a MAGA party. And I think if it means holding on the power, the Republican Party would let the country burn down to the ground and rule over its ashes. And I don't think that would be too steep a price to pay in the minds of the Republican Party. So reach out to your MAGA friends and family today. See how they're feeling. Ask them if they're having any doubts. Are they questioning what they're seeing? I believe many in MAGA, if not most, know that something is amiss in the country right now. Make sure you're following us at our socials. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter at leavingmaga.org. You can get information on our support group, which is tonight at 7 p.m. It's online. It's for friends and family of those who are in MAGA, and also information on my memoir, One Betrayal Too Many. As always, appreciate you watching. Thanks so much for your support.
Somebody to tell me they're lying right now because what the do you mean that I'm not gonna get my SNAP benefits? What the do you mean?
We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward.
Beyond betrayed. They used us during the campaign. The elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
I mean, you're an educator. You didn't vote for Trump eliminating federal funds.
No, I did not vote for that. I do not think that's what the voters want. If we have federal cuts, then that's going to mean bigger classroom sizes. I would lose teachers, first and foremost. It's devastating.
Another day, another group of MAGA supporters are regretting their vote for Donald Trump. In Arkansas, a group of farmers held a town hall to discuss their grievances under the current administration's policies and how it's impacting them.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
The federal government steps in to save them. Farmers have no one to turn to but God.
Farmers, in my opinion, it's only my opinion.
Who did you vote for president?
Mr. Trump.
Right?
Trump. Mr. Trump.
If the election were today, Frank, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No way. Couldn't happen. No.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
If there's no emergency funding this year, there will be 1 out of 3 farmers will file bankruptcy.
Guys, like one of the best corn crops that I have ever raised in my life. And because of the tariffs, China will not fucking buy it. And they are the only country in the world other than, well, they are the only country in the world.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
What most amazes me about MAGA is their inability to actually know any of the policies, be educated on what they're voting for, and taking everything that Donald Trump, a known liar, says at face value. The fact that you heard all the pushback and grievances from people who look like me and you said, no, I'm white, this is going to be for white people, white jobs, white farmers, and in fact, Trump is crippling the economy and you're feeling it. So I don't think your prayers and praying together and pleading to Trump is going to change the scenario you're in, because this government caters to oligarchs and those at the top, not you and your farm. And now you're hemorrhaging because you don't have the workers because ICE is capturing them. And then you also can't produce on your farm because you don't have subsidies anymore.
Damn, farmers are going through it.
New survey data from the American Farm Bureau Federation shows nearly 60% of U.S. farmers say their finances are getting worse, just as spring planting season ramps up. Now, fourth-generation farmer Lorenda Overman telling me fertilizer and nitrogen costs on her North Carolina farm jumped from $139 per acre last year to $217 an acre this season. Now, the pain isn't evenly spread. Southern farmers are getting hit harder. Just 19% locked in fertilizer early, and now nearly 80% say they can't afford what they need. Overman says last year's harvest let little cash and pre-buy, and they're more
Fertilizer's up 40%. Tariffs have hurt farmers. Gas prices, specifically diesel, is really hurting farmers. The trade war, we already had to bail out farmers, ladies and gentlemen, $12 billion. And that didn't even help them because they would have sold more if we didn't have a trade war. Countries are not going to be buying from us, not just soybeans, but many other items. They've already started to move on and trade with other countries. What this showed them is that every 4 years, a crazy president can come in office and wreck their economy. The Iran war is hurting farmers. They are really going through it. And guess what? A lot of them voted for him 3 times, and a lot of them still support Donald Trump. Farm bankruptcy is skyrocketing. Farmer suicide. They're really going through it. You found this post sad.
I've said it before, but it's worth saying louder this time. Trump's most loyal supporters, America's farmers, are getting stabbed in the back in broad daylight. And the latest insult isn't just a paper cut, it's a gut punch. While U.S. farmers are drowning in mountains of unsold soybeans, Trump is opening the floodgates for Argentina to dump cheap exports into the very markets American growers just lost.
Many MAGA farmers are caught in very tough conditions, especially like right now. And many of them, they don't support Trump anymore. They have quit the MAGA. They have quitted the MAGA very badly, and they think that Trump has betrayed them. That's how they see the things. They see like they have been betrayed because they were in the front line. They voted for him. You see how I've been playing the video here. You have seen how they are crying. They think that they see the really betrayal of how they never expected this, of course, because what they voted is not what they have got. Okay, so let me know what you think about this video, guys. Comment below. Do you see what's happening? Let me know what you think about this video, guys. And if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, kindly consider subscribing right now, guys. And like the video so that you can be watching each and every day a new video comes up. Okay, now let's continue watching this video.
Call it poetic justice, call it FAFO, but the betrayal couldn't be clearer.
Argentina and Brazil, down in South America, they're our biggest competitor in soybeans and corn. Sometimes they'll raise 2 or 3 crops of corn. They always raise a big soybean crop. But Argentina is a huge competitor for the United States. We just sent them $20 billion. All the while, they're sending tax-free China 84 million bushels of soybeans. That's 30 cargo ships worth in 2 days' time.
We are being forced to bail out another country's farmers at the expense of our own.
That don't make much sense. That's kind of like wiping before you poop. Why would you help out your biggest competition and hurt yourself with your biggest customer?
Arkansas farmers are taking their own lives because of what's happening to their farms because of Trump's policies. And it's only going to get worse for farmers because this is all laid out in Project 2025. So in Project 2025, the plan is to roll back all of the protections that farmers currently have access to. Basically, there's different programs. There's crop insurance. There's these commodities programs. And most of these are either subsidized or paid for by the government. So farmers, if a small farm gets hit with, a weather disaster or something else happens where they can't profit off their crop like they usually do, they're backed up. They're safe. They can, float for another year because of these programs. They want to get rid of these programs. They want to take the burden of these programs off the government and put it back onto the farmers, meaning these small farms get hit with one disaster and they're fucked. They're done. Guess who won't be done, though, if they get hit with one disaster? Giant mega corporations, these huge corporate farms that have all the capital they need to float if they get hit with a disaster. They're not going to go under. What they're going to do is buy up all these little farms and consolidate them into these giant mega farms. That's what the plan is. And I know it's easy to be like, oh, fuck these farmers. They voted for this. This is what they get. But this isn't good for any of us if this happens. I know like the FAFO is delightful, but it isn't good for any of us. And it's scary. Like, these are the people that feed us, that provide our food, and we need them. And it's horrifying to see what they're trying to do to them.
Breaking news. MAGA soybean farmers across the southern United States are crying and complaining about the Chinese not buying our soybeans. What? The Chinese are not buying our soybeans because of Trump's tariffs, where they have in turn placed tariffs on our soybeans and made them so expensive that we can't sell soybeans to China, and China is one of the biggest buyers of soybeans in the world. What? Well, MAGA farmers, who did you vote for? MAGA farmers, we tried to tell you this would not be a pretty picture. MAGA farmers, you not remember back in 2018, 2017, and Trump had another tariff war with China, and the same thing happened? Well, did you not expect it to happen again? There was about a $15 or $16 billion bailout. Socialism for the farmers. Oh, it's okay for you all to get payments when Trump messes up the economy on soybeans and causes China to go to South America to buy soybeans. And it's a problem for you now, and you're crying about it, and you're not happy about it. Well, FAFO. You F around and you're going to find out. You did the same thing again. History under Trump repeats itself. We have the largest deficit increase under Trump before, likewise, the second largest one now. Tariff problems under Trump, and you had problems selling your crops in, same thing again. So when are you going to learn? What do y'all think? I think they don't need to bail them out. I think they need to play on the same field like the rest of us. They don't need to be bailed out. What do you all think? Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned out light bulbs. Y'all voted for Trump. This is what you get.
This is not something that farmers can work around. No one anticipated that we would have a shock to the system. All the experts did not see this coming when we see this rise in fertilizer prices because of this war.
Nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody thought that electing Donald Trump to go on a revenge path and do whatever he wants completely unchecked would lead to this. Nobody said anything. Kamala Harris didn't say anything. The people on social media, the liberals, the Democrats, the sensible independents, anybody with more than 2 brain cells didn't see this coming. We all saw this coming. We knew there was going to be a war. We knew there was going to be a conflict. We knew that his idea for tariffs was terrible. We knew that mass deportations was terrible. We knew that everything he was bringing to the table, all of his, well, I haven't thought about that, half-baked plans were terrible. So don't sit here now and say nobody saw this coming, shock to the system out of nowhere. No, he started this war with Iran single-handedly, and we knew he would do something exactly like it. So these farmers want to continue to tell us, we didn't know, we're in pain, all these big farmers are getting the subsidies and the bailouts, we're suffering, we're going to close our family farm. You fucked around and now you're finding out. I don't know what else to say.
Regarding all these farmers that are now crying about possibly losing their farms because they voted for Trump, this is why you absolutely should not feel bad for any of these farmers that voted for Trump. Now, the ones that didn't vote, yes, feel sorry for them, go support them, do whatever you need to do. But the ones that voted for Trump, do not feel sorry for them, and let me tell you why. I am a builder, and I've been building shit in Oklahoma City going on like 20 years now, and farmers are not stupid. If you have the ability to manage a farm and understand the weather, the climate, your machinery, the chemistry that goes into your crops, you are not a stupid person. You're just not. And especially when you come from generational farming, you have the ability to look ahead and predict what you need to survive. And so when you have 2 candidates where you have Kamala Harris on one side giving you a whole fucking list of shit that she's going to do for you and make your life better, and then you have Trump on the other side who can't even come out with a normal sounding sentence, and you still vote for that guy, and you are a farmer, you are either racist or sexist or both. And they're only crying now because now they are being treated exactly how they voted for other people to be treated. Got that? They are being treated how they voted for other minorities, people of color, everybody else, poor people, sick people. That's how they voted for other people to be treated. And now they're the ones being treated that way by losing their livelihood, their homes, their income, their farms. So do not feel sorry for them. This is exactly what they had coming. Quick follow-up as to why exactly would Trump be doing this to farmers anyways, and I'm guessing 99% chance it's because he wants to bankrupt farms so his corporate buddies can come in and do a land grab. Basically what you have been seeing the last few years major companies buying up a bunch of rental houses and jacking up the price of rents, and it's all going to corporations. It's probably something similar to let these farms go to foreclosure and his corporate buddies be able to come in, swoop them up, and now you've got bigger companies involved in more of our day-to-day food.
Can we just talk for a minute about the Arkansas soybean farmers? Arkansas voted 2/3 for Trump. Trump had promised to implement tariffs. Trump then implemented those tariffs. China has retaliated, and because our soybeans, the tariff war made our soybeans too expensive, they decided to buy their soybeans from Brazil, signed 20-year contracts with Brazil, and now for a generation, the Arkansas soybean farmers are screwed because they lost their biggest soybean customer. And they are demanding compensation. Demanding. I mean, I almost admire it. I almost admire the audacity. But they said they don't really like taking government handouts, but, you know, they really don't have a choice. And they are demanding that we compensate them.
So I got a lot of grief about a post I did where I said I think it's hilarious watching these farmers cry over losing their family farms after voting for Trump. And I guess hilarious is the wrong word. It's more cathartic to see MAGA voters have to suffer through Trump's policies like the rest of us. Because, I mean, come on, they had to get bailed out Trump's first term. They should have learned then. He did a tariff war with China and there was a farmer bailout. Anyone remember that? You know, and then they voted for him again in 2020 and they voted for him again in 2024. And here we are, a bunch of them are losing their farms. But guess what? They're not losing their farms. Trump is going to do another farmer bailout. He's going to spend between $10 and $50 billion to bail these farmers out. And like, what does that even mean? They're still going to have to pay a lot for all their equipment because of the tariff wars. And because of the tariff wars, now China is buying all their soybeans from Argentina. Are they going to start growing different crops? How's he going to find people to buy these crops that want to pay the tariffs for it? Or is he just going to bail them out every single year? You know, when I say it's hilarious, what I mean is I want these people to suffer for voting for Trump. So they learn that the Republican Party doesn't care about anyone that's not a billionaire. They don't. All they care about is tax cuts for the rich. I mean, look at this government shutdown. They want to cut off health care to millions of Americans to give billionaires a tax cut they don't even need. Trump is not your friend unless you're a billionaire, period.
So that's what we got for American farmers, is zero empathy. We want them to fail. That's what you're saying out there. That's what Americans are saying right now is, well, you know, next time you'll vote the right way, or that's what you get for who you voted for. That, to me, I want to say it doesn't sound very American of people, but here lately, that's all we're doing is complaining. You know, the last thing I want is an American business to fail. I don't know how much more we're going to see for the next 3 or 4 years. Last thing I want is an American farmer to go under because us as Americans didn't want to do anything to support them.
Yeah, fuck them farmers. I don't give a shit about farmers anymore. If you voted for Donald Trump, I do not give a rowdy shit. We voted for you. We voted for you to have your crops as a part of children's lunch. We voted for you to be part of world aid. We voted for you to keep your farms. We voted for Kamala Harris so that you could continue to live, continue to thrive, continue to at least survive. And you went into the voting booth in November and voted against your own best interest. You cut off your nose to spite your face so that you could own the libs. So yeah, does it seem very American? I don't know. What seems American these days? To vote against your own interest?
So until there, guys, I just want you to tell me what you think about this particular video. Let me know in the comment section. Do you support still? Are you still a MAGA fan? I know we have MAGA in the house, you know. So let me know. Do you see this coming? Did you see this coming? Let me know in the comment section. I'm so eager to read your comments because I've seen so many people saying, if you see a MAGA person who voted for Trump, don't sympathize with them like they chose it. I've seen someone saying that. So let me know what you think about this video, guys. I'll be happy to read your comments. And yeah, this video is for educational purposes, guys, and that is just a disclaimer. We don't promote any hate or violence. And yeah, let me know what you think about this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now. See you. Stay safe, guys. Peace. One love.